Hi guys, welcome again to another motivation, another talk, another discussion, another topic that you can relate to or someone you know can relate to it. So that is why guys, it is very important for you to like the videos, share them, and if you have not subscribed, subscribe to the channel and comment. Guys, I realize that you are watching the videos, but I can't hear any of you, and so I'm gonna encourage you today. Talk to me. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your views are. Let me know what is it that you'd like me to speak on, or if there's something that a suggestion that you think I could do differently. So let me hear your thoughts. And again, I do know that those who are watching my videos, most of them are unsubscribed. So I'm gonna implore you today, subscribe to the channel and do not forget the bell notification. Today I want to introduce two words to you, or just reiterate two words to you, because it's two words that you do know, and it is identify and dwell. The difference between identifying something and dwelling on something. A lot of times going forward, when we have our self-development and cleansing and going forward to becoming the best version of ourselves, we have been told identify your strengths and identify your weaknesses. But most times we don't just identify our weaknesses and our strengths, we dwell on. And if it was our dwelling on our strengths would that would be better for us to be dwelling on our weaknesses. But most of the times it's our weaknesses that we dwell on. It is our mishaps or shortcomings and our mistakes. Those are the things that we dwell on most of the time, and it causes us to become dormant. It causes a hiccup in our way, and we now become stagnant, and we dwell into self-pity. We lose hope, we lose faith, and we go backwards instead of being forward. And so I want to say to you today, change your mindset. Change the way you see things. Change the way you see yourself. Identifying something means to recognize it, to know what it is, to know what your weaknesses are. It did not say you are to dwell on them. I've done self-search before. And some of the things that I found, yes, they were frightening. Yes, I beat myself up because I was saying, why is it that I cannot believe I was like this. I cannot believe I used to do this. I cannot believe, I did this to this person, or I said this about this person, or I did something, or, a lot of times I did that. But then I realized I stayed there. That's the problem. Staying there, dwelling on it. Our weaknesses are to be identified so we can correct them, so we can strengthen our weaknesses. We do not want to live down into the valley of weaknesses and self-pity and self-this and we're less than and beating down on ourselves and saying negativity in situations and about ourselves and so forth. We do not want to do that. So going forward into this week, I want to encourage somebody. Do not dwell on your weaknesses. Your weaknesses are there to show you what to fix, what to strengthen, and how you can go forward. You do not understand how strong you are until you have been weak. You will not understand how strong you can become until you have been weak. And weaknesses is not something that you sit in. It is something that propels you. You have people also that don't want to feel vulnerable and they don't want to feel weak, but these are the people that are actually covering up weaknesses. When you cover something up, it is a recipe for disaster. It is a recipe for stagnation. It is a recipe for delayed empowerment. It is a recipe for delayed gratification. It is a recipe for delay productivity. You cannot get your victory if you cover things up. You cannot get your victory if you procrastinate. You cannot get your victory if you dwell on the negatives of your life. You cannot do it. So I'm going to encourage you going forward in this week. Identify your weaknesses and your strength. Do not dwell. And yes, sometimes if we dwell even on the strengths, we become cocky and filled with pride. Yes, we do. We think that we are wearing a halo, so that too is a problem. But I've realized that most times we dwell on the negative. And why is it so easy for us to dwell on the negativity? There's so many positive things about ourselves. There's so many things that we can tell ourselves and strengthen ourselves, but we choose the negativity most times. So I want to implore you going forward in this week, change your mindset. Change your mindset. You are more than you perceive yourself to be. You have more than you think you have. You are more than you think you are. You are better than what you think you cannot have. There is nothing withheld from you that you think you can have. Nothing. Go forward. Become the best version of yourself. Conquer. Overcome and be victorious. Change your mindset going forward and do not linger in what you find. What you find sometimes can be frightening, and it is hard to forgive yourself, but get up. Get up. The reason you recognize your faults, your weaknesses, your mishaps is because you desire to be greater. It says that there is a greater purpose for you, but you cannot go forward unless you identify. Do not dwell. Identifying is seeing it, making it known. Dwelling is lingering. Sit down in night, lie down in night, you drop asleep. Oh my gosh, you're sleeping. Wake up. Go forward. You are more than a conqueror. You are more than a conqueror. You're a mighty man. You're a mighty woman. And nothing will stop you. Be motivated. Love yourself. Respect yourself. Honor yourself. Because when you do that to self, you can truly give it unto others. Bless you guys. And remember, not forget yourself.